Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I live in America and this is my second home country, so I've been living here for 14 years already. And there are so many unexpected things that happen to me. So today, we're going to talk about what you shouldn't expect when moving or visiting America. These are things that surprised me. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. And since I get a lot of comments asking for videos like this, so this is it. Let's go. Okay. So I think we all know that America is a very individualistic country. That means they prioritize their personal freedom and independence. And most of the time, people can be very self-centered. However, when I lived in Korea, people would always let other people take priority over them. Like even if you're not friends with someone and you see them at the subway, you will give up your seat for them. You know, you let them get in first and then you get in after them. But in America, no one cares. So it took me a while to get used to this, because I couldn't understand why wouldn't they want to help each other out. But now I kinda get it. People are too busy trying to make their own life better, and they don't really have time for other people. Of course, this doesn't mean that Americans are selfish. They just mind their own business and focus on themselves. It's just different from Korean culture, and I had to get used to it. Okay, so the next thing that surprised me was how American men behave. Okay, let me explain this. So in Korea, men and women have a big difference when it comes to their lifestyle and also their appearance. So traditionally, Korean men have a stronger sense of gender roles compared to women. So, men are supposed to be the breadwinner of the family, and they should protect their wives. And in order to do that, they need to work hard and work long hours. So that's why most of the times men are more stressed and they come back home late because they're reworking late nights and stuff. Because of this, women kind of take care of the housework and childcare. But in America, men share household chores pretty equally. So I feel like they don't feel like they're superior to women. Also, I noticed that American men are quite emotional. In Korea, men are supposed to be strong and not show any emotions, because showing emotions means that you're weak. But here, men cry when they watch movies and they don't think twice when telling their feelings to women. I find this really attractive actually, because they seem very honest and sincere. Sometimes I think American men are a bit too emotional, but that's okay. So, I'm sure you know that in America, there are so many different races and cultures, and this makes our society more diverse and interesting. However, being so diverse can also cause some problems. When it comes to relationships, I think communication is the most important thing. But if you're dating someone from a completely different culture, communication can be a big problem. For example, if you're not familiar with that culture, you might say something wrong without knowing it, and that could lead to misunderstandings. For example, I was talking with my friend who is Asian and I said something that sounded very offensive to him, without me knowing it. I didn't mean it that way, but he got really angry, and he explained to me why that is a problem, and that made me realize how ignorant I was. Since then, I try to learn more about his culture, and I pay attention to the words I choose when I speak. This is just one example. But I think cultural differences can affect communication in many ways. I am not saying that it's impossible to communicate effectively with someone from a different culture, but it definitely requires effort and understanding. I think everyone knows that food is one of the best ways to get to know a culture. However, it can be really expensive to eat out every time you want to try new foods. There are two reasons why eating out is expensive in America. One is that food prices are just high in general. And the other one is that portions are huge. When I first moved here, I could unfinish one serving by myself. And it felt like I was wasting food if I left anything on my plate. So, these days I order half portions or share dishes with my friends. But still, eating out every week can be really tough on my wallet. So I started cooking at home, and I found a lot of recipes online. If you want to know how much does it cost to eat out in America, check out this video. So it is true that America is a melting pot of cultures, but sometimes people are so caught up with their own culture that they don't really appreciate other cultures. And this can lead to a lot of problems. For example, I remember seeing an ad and it showed Asian people in a very negative light, and it made me sad because it's like they reportraying all Asian people the same. and this is a very harmful stereotype. I know that these companies want to make money and appeal to a larger audience, but it's important to be mindful of how your words and actions can affect others. I think we can all do better in terms of appreciating diversity and celebrating what makes us unique. Okay, so this is a story about a stranger that helped me out. So when I first moved to America, I was very naive and didn't know much about the world. One day I was walking alone late at night, and I saw this guy staring at me. And of course I was scared because anyone would be scared if a stranger keeps staring at you. And I tried to avoid him and walked faster. But he kept following me, and I could feel his eyes on me. At that point, I was really scared, and I started running, didn't know where to go, and I was just running around. And I remember seeing this lady sitting on a bench, and I went to her and asked for help. She called the police and stayed with me until everything was resolved. The police came and talked to the guy, and it turned out he was just drunk and didn't mean any harm. I was so grateful to this lady because if it wasn't for her, I don't know what would have happened. Thinkers, it's important to be aware of your surroundings and take precautions when you alone at night. But I also want to say thank you to this lady because she taught me that not all strangers are bad and there are still good people in this world. Okay, so we all know that American customer service is not the best. Most of the time they don't get paid well, and they overworked, so they don't really care. There was one time that I received amazing customer service and it really impressed me. So I was shopping at this store and I was looking for a specific item and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I asked this sales associate for help and she was very friendly and helpful. She took me directly to the item and even helped me carry the boxes to the counter. When it was time to pay, I went to this self-checkout and it wasn't working properly and I couldn't scan the item. Then, just when I was about to give up, this other sales associate came over and helped me fix the problem. She was very patient and kind and I really appreciated her help. I know that these associates are just doing their job, but the way they handled the situation was really impressive to me. It's nice to see that there are still people who are passionate about their work and treat customers well. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye!